Welcome, Eline Snel, and thank you for being with us. You are a pioneer in implementing mindfulness at school and in training teachers and children. How did you come to that? And how many schools and trainers are now implementing the program?
Mm-hmm. So two questions. Yes. One, the first question, I started to teach children mindfulness with my own daughter because she was suffering from ADD, so she couldn't stop thinking and she couldn't sleep at all. So she's now 27, so I think 23 years ago I started to do mindfulness exercises with her. She asked when my body wants to sleep and my head is keeping me awake, what do I have to do? And then I started to develop mindfulness exercises. And I tried to do that in school at that time, but it was too early. The time wasn't there to incorporate it at school 25 years ago. So then I trained a group of 12 directors of schools, principals, and they enjoyed the training so much for themselves. They found their energy back, they found back that someone was really listening to them, namely themselves, and they can better take care of their own persons instead of looking after other children and other persons. So, and they asked me if children would have the ability to learn this in a very early stage, wouldn't it be marvelous? And then would you like to develop a training? And that was the point I did it. That was 10 years ago.
And how big is the program now?
The program is now very big.
It's in Holland.
Yeah, in Holland we trained 250 teachers, but not only teachers, a lot of psychiatrists, psychologists and children coaches. I think we have trained now over 400 people in Holland only, and then we also work international, so in other countries.
And you train children also?
I do train children, not so much at this moment. I teach trainers and teachers in schools, so in company. And when there is a little group of children or in school time, when they ask me to do it, I do it. Yeah.
And what change did you notice when children get access to mindfulness training? What are the benefits for them?
Yes. Well, one of the benefits is that they are far more in contact with their bodies. So they feel when they are restless. They feel and acknowledge when they want to move. And before they didn't realize, they weren't aware of movements of their body. So everybody could say, stop doing this, stop doing that, but they couldn't influence it. And now they are conscious of their body, they can influence it themselves. They know when it's happening, they realize when they are moving. The second thing is that they are far more compassionate to themselves and to others. They're not striving so much, and they're not so afraid to be not in the highest levels of the class, for example. They just do their best, and their very best, and that's enough for them. And then their talents come more from inside out. So it's a win-win situation for them. The third thing, and that's what brain research says, that the executive functions of children increase when they are meditating. So they become better planners, they become better organizers, but also they have more access to different ways how to see problems and not only the problem. So that's a huge benefit. Yeah.
Yes, and you had the support of the government, the Dutch government.
Yes, yeah, we had. But in Holland the situation is different because in Holland schools have more freedom to incorporate one or two other programs in their curriculum than the normal school program. So they are free to do that, and they get money from it, from the government to do so, to incorporate different programs. And my program was supported very much. Yeah, so we got the freedom to walk that path, and that was very nice, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
And do you think it would be possible to launch a European mindfulness program at school in the United Nations? No, in the European nations?
Yes.
And through the Commission? Do you have?
Do you mean I don't?
European Commission.
Yes. If the whole European all the countries could implement it. Yeah. Well, that's an interesting question. In different countries in Europe, they are already busy with incorporating this program.
With which countries?
Spain, Germany, Switzerland, in the primary schools and in the secondary schools. Well, in France, some schools are incorporating it, and we are going to do it in Poland, but it's not at this moment. It isn't actual at this moment. We start, I think, next year.
And there is no possibility of launch a real European program, because there is a program like that in the Commission.
Yes, yeah. Well, we hope we can find a way to do it in a kind of European Commission, so that everyone knows that this can be used for every country. Because it's not about the program so much. The program is translated in all the different languages, but most of the time it's about the government and also the amount of certified MBSR teachers. Because in Holland we have more than 1,600 certified MBSR teachers. So when a teacher wants to be trained in order to prepare for the AMT course, it's no problem. But I hear from French people, for example, that there's a big problem to be trained in the south of France, for example, or in this region to have be trained like by an MBSR teacher trainer. There are not so much teacher trainers that are.
Yeah. And also in France there is some obstacle with the government.
Yeah.
You know, the system is very non-confessional, and they are very afraid of meditation, of mindfulness and everything. What do you think we could do to change their mind?
Well, that's a very interesting question, because mindfulness changes minds by experience, and that's almost the only thing. We can tell, we can talk about it, but I would love to train some people of the government in mindfulness myself, or someone who likes to do that here in France. But let them come in contact and experience what mindfulness can do for them in their workload, in their personal life, in their personal development as a human being instead of a human doing, and that kind of things. So it's the experience. We can talk about it, but everybody can talk about it. You can read about it, but then you still don't know. When you talk about an apple, I can tell all kind of things about the skin of the apple and the juice of the apple, but you will know it when you taste it. And that's with mindfulness the same.
I heard 100 MPs in United Kingdom went through a program, MBSR program, and they change their mind. So do you see that example
Yes,
is to be developed?
Yes, yeah. So when they are ready to have a tryout, sometimes a tryout of 2 or 4 hours is enough to get interested, and then some people can say, well, we will do the first step and do experience a mindfulness training, for example. Yeah.
So your books, your training books are now really bestsellers. And
Yes.
Do you have some other books coming?
I'm thinking of one. I'm developing a parenting training now, and I'm thinking of a book, the third book, about compassion for kids, because I think it's so necessary in these times when a lot of kids are hurt by being bullied and sometimes hurt for their life long. So that will be my third book, I think. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay.